I was all filmed and ready to go for the day, and then I found out that there was a YCS this weekend that we actually need to talk about. So this is going to be a little metagame breakdown of not only the real information I have out of this event, which is the top 16. I think it'll be an interesting discussion nonetheless. And later in the week, we're going to have a little opening on this, where we're going to open this bad boy and probably give away all of the contents to one lucky viewer that's interested in Arkansas. We'll probably tack that onto Market Watch, because that seems like a very fun thing to do. Let's dig on into YCS. It's Guadalajara, right? Alright, let's do this. YCS Guadalajara has come to an end, and I don't even know what won, actually. I'm just curious about the top 16 metagame breakdown here, because there were 788 players in attendance for this event, and that's a relatively decently sized number. That's literally a little bit more than YCS Niagara Falls a week ago. So coming off of dual YCSs, we saw last week Lunalight Orcust, probably the best thing ever in Europe. Actually, it's probably the best variant of the Orcust deck currently. And then we had Grand Manju end up winning Niagara Falls. And when you look at the American YCSs, you would almost think that it's a joke that Grand Manju won. So the first thing I'm going to say here, I don't see any Grand Manju in top cut at this event. I might be crazy when I say this, but that just might be an American thing at this point. We might only be seeing the Grand Manju effect, as I like to call it, on our side of the pond. So that's a little bit of an interesting thing. So we had can't count here, we had 8 copies of Orcust in top 16. That is half. Okay, so only 5 of those, actually 6 of those were dedicated. So here's my question to you guys. Is this deck broken yet? Is the representation for this deck absurd? 5 of these were Lunalight Orcust variants, ladies and gentlemen. You know, coming off of the YCSs last weekend, Lunalight Orcust got second in America, first in Europe. The fact that this deck, well, first up, I've said this multiple times, I kind of am afraid that the Lunalight engine might actually pay the sins for this, much like Trickster Light Stage ended up paying the cost. We might actually see, you know, limitations to the Lunalight cards. I don't want that to happen. I don't want to punish the Lunalight players for this, because that's not the way that, you know, it should go. But it's an interesting thought nonetheless. I do have a discussion coming out later in the week. We're going to talk more about possible limitations to Orcust, because there are a lot of things that you can do to attempt to fix the quote-unquote engine. It's just we're not trying to take away the disruptability or viability of the engine. You know, we just want to make it more fair. So that'll be up later in the week. Now, that being said, we also had one Cyber Dragon Orcust. Now, if you've not been underneath a rock for this format, you've seen that this deck has continuously reigned its head, especially in America. Ed Blair Hunter, Ed Deception, some of the earlier pilots to this variant. The thing that this deck does, Cybernetic Overflow for Disruption, is crazy powerful. Now, obviously Lunalight Orcust can bait that. You know, they're not once per turn clauses on cards, actually can get through things. Also, the Cyber Dragon Orcust actually doesn't care about going second. Like, this deck's job is to want to break boards, want to start putting damage on the field. And that's one thing that the Cyber Dragon engine inevitably does quite well, is just simulate large monsters, go. Also, Cyber Dragon Infinity, pretty cute card in today's format. So just remember, can't suck up tokens with Infinity, because tokens cannot exist as Xyz material. It's your fun little ruling for this video. Thousand Eyes Restrict can attempt to equip a token, because the game mechanic can allow it, but a token cannot exist as Xyz material. That's your fundamental little ruling for that. And then we're not quite sure what the last 2 Orcust variants were. I'm assuming that they were probably pure or other crazy ideas like that. It could be anything from 60 card to literally anything else. So there is your chunk of Orcust, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't shock me anymore that this deck did well. Then, our second most represented deck in top 16, 3 Salamangreat. Congratulations, Salad. Salad is this really weird deck right now, because I think the innovation is the thing that's saving this deck. The fact that you have so many tech options that you can just adjust into the core structuring of the build, it's really interesting. Like, you like have your basic core package for what you want for the deck, and then, you know, you argue over how many Signet Minings you want to play, you know, how many Sea Archivers you want to play, you know, the little tech choices like 2 Roar, 1 Raid. Like, it's interesting. I will say that. Like, Salad's developability in this format, like, this deck's overall development and evolution, like, it's not on the par with Zoo, but, like, those little tech choices that you keep seeing in between different lists, they're the reason why this deck is being successful right now. Then we also had 1 Sky Striker. Hoo-wee. Oh, man, Sky Striker's the best deck. Yeah. At this event, Sky Striker ended up being one of the little background dogs, actually, which is kind of interesting. I guess, well, I mean, considering how consistent Orcust is, and not everybody wants to sit here and try to outgrind it with having to draw TCBO every single game, I get it. All right, like, your grind game with Sky Striker is just that. Also, your Cyber Dragon Orcust matchup is a pile of hot doo-doo, but if I can draw, you know, there can only be one every single game, well, I should be winning. So, I don't know. One striker definitely doesn't feel right, in my opinion. That's definitely more interesting than not. And then, oh man, everything else is straight one of here. We also have 1 Pendulum Edition. Somewhere Triff is happy and smiling that this deck is still alive. Combo ability, generic extender deck, literally place the pendulum scale, Electromite go. Like, I don't know, there's not much else to really say about Pendulum. I'm happy to see that it got the chance to sit at the dinner table at this event. I mean, standard is B as standard gets. No real shocker there. Okay, so next up, we also have 1 Pure Thunder Dragon. Crusadia Thunder, at this point in the format, is basically donezo. That deck had a good ride. I guess when your overall format evolves to go away from OTK decks, oh, yeah, we also have Nibiru in the format now, Nibiru, whatever you want to call it, but he now counters the format. And, I mean, yeah, Thunder can make less moves to get to their effective boss monsters, but just Crusadia Thunder as a whole, it's a shame, because that deck's combo ceiling was really cool. But, you know, now that Nibiru's in the format, you know, here we are. We don't get a chance to see it anymore. So, Pure Thunder's pretty much taken the spot of that void. It's really interesting because the deck's now budget, and players can, you know, play it. But now that everybody and their mother can actually play it, nobody's playing it. Does that make any sense? Like, next up, we had 1 Subterror. Now, looking at the core structuring of the format, okay, Subterror, this deck doesn't do well, ever. I feel like it's a very I have to go first style deck to set up. And I mean, yeah, variance tells me that there will be enough days that players will win enough of those dice rolls to basically be able to do well. I don't know if this is an abnormality or anything like that, but regionally, yeah, Subterror will do well. YCS-ly, I don't know. Interesting to see that. And then our last rogue top here was 1 Infernoid. Huh. So what you're telling me here is that Infernoid is still doing relatively well at these events. We still see rogue decks doing well. I mean, Infernoid, Imagination Station, Void Feast. Void Feast into, you know, full combo is still really good. A lot of decks can't out it. You know, a Tiaru coming down, ripping across the board, also, you know, isn't really all that surprising. So, here are my final thoughts on this YCS. Lunalight Orcust, it's pretty much, from all 3 events, I think has settled into be the best deck of the format. We're seeing dramatic changes in Sky Striker numbers, especially from last week to this week. But it really just depends. That's not that Sky Strikers are any less consistent. I think it's because the amount of Orcust players is actually rising at this point. You know, players are finding that, well, Lunalight OTK, aka Boral Sword Turbo, is probably the best thing to go for right now. it definitely shows in the format right now. And like I said, I wouldn't be shocked come October if we see something happen to that Orcust engine. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do, but like I said, that's a topic for another video. So what do you guys think about the YCS this weekend? Please, comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and well, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Deucerinos. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a truffle shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out VanCole40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.